most of you know, I have been on a kind of wild journey over the years, and also in the last 6 weeks or so. And I'm not here to talk about what's happened in my life recently, but I am here to talk about the power of vulnerability. It's been one of the biggest lessons that I've learned over time, and especially so in the last few weeks. And in that word vulnerability, there are so many other levels to it when you start to delve into it. And for me, it's been acceptance of the situation as it is, allowing yourself to feel it and to understand that pain and why it's there. And that helps to really shift it. Once you can understand it, you can really shift it. And sometimes that is not easy. Sometimes that is really, really, really hard. And I lean on so many different techniques to really help me get out of those funks and shift myself out of those negative, depressed states, still carrying my vulnerability, but really changing my state drastically to lift myself out. And a big part of that, big lesson is not to take things personally. And that could be anything. That could be seriously anything. So how people react to you, how people speak to you, or just how others are around you. If it rubs you the wrong way, don't take it personally. If something doesn't go your way, whatever it might be, don't take it personally. If someone leaves your life, or if someone comes into your life, don't take it personally. Because our perceptions really start to turn into this poison. And it really is, most of the time, just our perception of how someone is behaving than how they actually are. And we take these things that are our perceptions, they are most likely not even true. We take them so personally, and we turn it into blame, and we turn it into this monster of a thing. And I truly believe that it's something that we really have to start acknowledging within us. And there's a beautiful thing that Tony Robbins, if you're going to blame people for all the shit, then you better blame them for all the good too. If you're going to give them credit for everything that's fucked up, you better give them credit for everything that's great. I'm not asking you to stop blaming. I'm saying blame elegantly, blame intelligently, blame effectively. Blame at the level of your soul, not at the level of your fucking head. Because life's not so simple and black and white. I've listened to that quote so many times that I know it off by heart. And we jump to blame others for how they make us feel, and yet we are completely in control of how they're making us feel. So it's so important not to take anyone's behavior towards you or just around you personally. Also, not to play the victim. This is something that I really had to understand about myself. I would jump to victim mode so often because I felt like I had been wronged, and maybe I had been wronged all these times, and yet I couldn't control that situation. And by blaming others and playing that victim, all that does is change people's opinion of you, and it's a reflection of how you are. And so I really had to step back and decide to respect myself enough not to be a victim about things that I can't control. Not telling the story over and over and over again to people about how everything's not working and how people have wronged me, because by telling the story over and over again, you're telling it to yourself, you're keeping your focus on what's not working, and you're also spreading that into everyone else's minds, and then they're believing it and they're creating that for you as well. because what you notice grows. So what you notice continues to grow and grow. Like, you know, it's like when you get a new car, and you've never really noticed that kind of car before, and all of a sudden you're seeing your car everywhere. It's because once we choose to notice something, we see it all around us, because our brain is not designed to show us these things, because it's not designed to show us every possible thing that we could possibly notice, otherwise we'd go insane. So it's so beautiful once you start to notice the good things, notice the things that are working, because then they start to grow. And in the opposite, if you're constantly noticing people who aren't treating you the way you'd want to be treated, or they're not talking to you in a certain way, or you don't have enough money, or you don't have enough love in your life, or you don't have enough deep friendships, that's just going to grow. So what you notice grows. And then not giving in to labels. I've been labeled many things, as we all get labeled. If you have depression, that's your label. You turn it into that, and we become a victim to depression. If you have some kind of sickness, or if you have some kind of behavior that someone has slapped a label on, you know, bossy or smart ass or whatever it might be, we give in to those labels. And yet we think that putting a label on a condition or a behavior somehow solves it, and it makes it, you know, just how that person is. And yet labels are the opposite of understanding a condition or a situation or a behavior. To really understand it, you have to shift the labels and really go in to what you're physically and emotionally feeling. You don't have to do it all the time, and it's not going to be easy all the time, but by doing that work and being vulnerable in that way, you will start to notice the strength that rises out of it. You'll start to notice those things that do cause you pain, that do apply to that label, and when they do come up at a later date, you'll recognize them, and you'll recognize them as something that you don't want to feel and you don't want to notice. So let's start noticing things that we want to grow. Let's start noticing the things that are positive and exciting and beautiful in our lives and in each other. And understand your pain. Get to know your pain. It doesn't have to be freaking scary. Just go in and turn it into purpose, because we're all here to do something in this world. We are all here to give something of ourselves to each other, to the world, in some small way, even if it is just a small way. And so I do implore you, from my personal experience, I have had to become vulnerable, and I have had to go into my deepest pain to understand it, to forgive it, to love that part of myself, to really be able to step out and do something that really makes a difference. And it doesn't have to make a difference for anyone except you. Or maybe you want to make a difference for other people. Whatever it is, don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Don't be afraid of your pain. Don't be afraid of your past, and try not to play a victim, because what you notice grows. I'm going to leave it at that. Otherwise I'll just drone on forever. But thanks to everyone who jumped on and watched. And if you resonated with anything I said, or you think that this is a kind of message that should be shared, please give it a like, a comment, or a share. And yeah, get in touch with me if you ever want to chat. I am always here. That's what I'm here to do. So, sending you guys love from India. I'm just gonna show y'all my little spot this morning. We are so freaking lucky to live in this world, and we should start to notice that stuff more. Have a good day. See you guys.